Welcome to Gold Fever Adventures. I'm Jack Tucker. I'm out here in Arizona. I am actually in a kind of historic area, and this brings back a lot of memories to me. But I'm out here on a private claim known with the Roadrunners. They're having a outing this weekend, so I thought I'd come out here and join them this time. Been meaning to do that for years, but finally made it out here. But right up there's the famous Rich Hill. Rich Hill has a lot of history. I used to play out here in this area probably 10, 15 years ago. I pulled a lot of gold off of this area, but I'll show you about that. We're gonna drive around and talk to you more about that.
Load up the truck, it's time to roll. With hearts so wild, then a come and go. Chasing the goal, we're ready for the thrill. Through mountains.
Right there is a famous Rich Hill. So years ago, like I said, I had some claims out here, over here, below old Roadrunners over into there, and found a lot of gold over there. I see a backhoe over there. I think I'm going to drive over there and we're going to walk up and down this wash, and I'm going to show you places where I think you should dig at, or where I would want to dig at anyway. I'm going to show you where I found a lot of gold at, and kind of the reason why I was finding a lot of gold over there. Anyways, I want to thank you guys coming along and sharing on all these adventures, and we've got a fun outing planned this weekend for, hey, thanks for coming along, guys. This is new. Man, it's a lot of rock right there. You can tell that's been washed though. So probably people running this operation over here. Yeah, that's where they're coming. I guess they parked it or dumped it all right there. So this was the wash right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's been widened. So see, they know what's going on right there. They're digging in this wash. They got a big old hole going on, because that's where this gold was at. I pulled lots of gold off of this wash right here. Lots of gold. And there's still so much bench material. Look at all that right there. Now see on this side, it's just dirt, mud. You won't find no rocks in there. But look on this side, you got all the gravels running right through here. Yeah, that's where you want to get into, right there, going right up in there. Let's walk around a bit. So I know this area has changed a lot. Like I said, it's probably been, oh God, 15 more years before I've been up through here. But you ain't going to get all the gold, that's for sure. So there's still a lot of gold left here. But I just want to show you around this area again. Now you can see in this layer right here, look at this layer. See the gravels in here? This would be a good area to dig in. And as you're coming down, you can see as it got laid in the different areas in through here. You see larger rocks, and then at the bottom you got some of your bigger rocks. So right through here, this is all good areas. This is a good area to get in here, get some dirt out of here. I'd get some dirt right through here is what I would do. Absolutely. And again, you look at the other side over here, you don't see the rocks and the rock layers over there. Laying right in the middle of this. There's a lot of rocks in through here, that's for sure. Oh, you got to watch where you step. You also got to watch for these cat claws right here. These things got thorns on them, and they grab you, and they cut you. And they're all over up here. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Now, you can see the gravel's laying right there on top. So what's happening is the water's coming down. It's eating the bank away, and it's falling off the bank. So this is all gravels right here. And this is a high bench area. Look at this here. This is untouched. All of this outside of this bench, this is the old high bench area clear up here up on top. See all the rocks up here? This is where the bench used to be, where this wash once was, clear up here. But as the water starts to recede, it forms its way and it works its way down to the low spot, and then it continues on, and that's where it ended up at right there. A lot of people, when they're coming up and digging and stuff, they don't like to get inside under these trees and all of that. In the summertime, you like this stuff, but not in the wintertime. See, you get back up under these trees. Look at all these big boulders up there. You get up higher, lots of big boulders right in the creek or this wash. So although maybe people worked in here, when it flash floods and comes running down, it just knocks the gold off the sides of the bank and replenishes it back inside this wash. And these big boulders, they're still here. They haven't been thrown out on the side, so there's a lot of gold left in this wash. It looks like maybe a dig hole there. Somebody got some dirt out of it. You got out of the dirt, though, not in a good sample. I tell you a story. See all this black sand laying right in here? All of this black sand. And you got all your quartz. You like the quartz that's, oh man, I thought that was a piece of gold laying on that. That shines so pretty. That might be a piece of gold there, right there. Is that gold? That might be gold right there. Is that gold? Right there? Is that a piece of gold? That looks like a piece of gold to me right there. Huh. But see now, these rocks here, these have all been thrown out on the bank. So people's worked right through here. But man, this black sand, your quartz, your granites, it's got all the great stuff through here. Anyways, I was going to tell you a story about this area. Well, I could tell you a couple stories, but some of them, the statute of limitations haven't ran out yet, so I can't tell you a lot of stories. But I was one time dry washing here. This was many years ago. And this guy that was out here kind of living out in this area, staying in a tent, he came down, he started talking to me and sat down next to my dry washer. And he pulls this big golf ball sized nugget out of my tailings. And he says, "Oh, look what I found." And I said, "What do you mean what you found?" And he said, "Yeah, I found it." I said, "Dude, it was in my tailings." He says, "Well, but you lost it." I said, "How do you know I wouldn't metal detect it?" He said, "Well, was you?" And I says, "It doesn't matter. It's in my tailings." And then he says, "Well, what are we going to do about it?" Well, they had an event out there at the camp up yonder there. And I said, "Well, I'll take it to the camp and we'll shop it and we'll sell it and I'll split it with you." And he says, "Okay." So we sold that big piece of gold, I think, for $250, clear back in the days. It was quartz and it just had gold all around it. But the Roadrunners, they had an outing up here. And so I took it. Back in those days, that guy's named Jack. He's gone now, he's passed on. But so I took this piece up there and I said, "Look what we just found." He said, "Come here, I'll show you something." So I walked over to his truck. He showed me 2 more pieces just like it that they had found. So this wash has produced a lot of gold in it. And that's where I'm going to be getting me some samples out. I don't know where they're going to be digging at with the backhoe, but I know where I'm going to be getting me some samples. I got me a Gold Fox trommel set up, and I'm going to be recirculating, and I'm going to come over here and get me some of this super rich gravels over here. And I'm going to find me some gold this weekend. See, somebody dug right in the wash. But they just dug, there's no rocks or nothing really around there, right in this spot right there. See the dirt right there? There's no gravels in there. So I don't know why they decided to dig right there unless they had a target metal detecting and dug down. You could find some nuggets in here metal detecting. But I would metal detect this whole high bench area and I would just follow this all the way Some people say all the gold has been found metal detecting. Don't you believe that? You cannot detect every single piece. And more of these bigger detectors are coming out. They're more sensitive, they cover more ground, they go deeper. There's still gold being found. Maybe the easy stuff's been found, just like the old timers found a lot of the easy stuff, but there's still a lot of gold left out here. And you know what? I'm going to find me some of it this weekend. There's another hole right there. I'm going to say somebody probably got into metal detect, it'd be my guess. But if you look down in there, you'll see a couple larger rocks and then it kind of goes dead. So I'm going to say they're metal detecting what that is. That's what I'm going to say that came from. And up above is just a mud layer, just dirt, nothing's there. You got to get off of this slough area and get back up into this bench area, the higher bench where the gold is at. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to bring down a couple buckets of dirt. See all this gravel's, how they're all laid in? Now there's a reason why. As the water's flying down through here, whether once upon a time there was a big rock here that just started backing all this stuff up, but for some reason, this got backed up in through here. There's a reason why this gets backed up, and then it kind of diverts the channel of your water flow, and it goes elsewhere. Here's all these cat claws again. I got to walk back through. Ow, ee, ow, oh, ow, ah. Oh, ee, oh. Okay, see the rock layer right there? Big rocks right through here, and then there's nothing down in there. So you can see where it is laid in at, nothing right there. See a little more gravels right there. But you continue down through here. This is all just falling off the banks right here. But that right there, I like that layer right there. I like that layer. I like that layer right there. And now you get down in here, this is overburden and slough coming off of the bank. Probably a lot of overburden, a lot of slough. I'd take you down yonder and show you some of the areas where we camped at. Like I said, there's some stories down here I could tell you. I could tell you some good stories down here. This is all sandy area here. That's where they're stacking the rocks at. There was some fire pits, big fire pits we built over here once upon a time. We built 2 pits. One was a big fire pit that we built. We called that our all-nighter, that we'd put big-ass logs in. And then we made another fire pit that was elongated where we would put our grills at. You know, those type of grills that you would set on and put your different potatoes or something on like that. Great grills. We had those set up over here. But that's probably all long gone. They probably bulldozed all that away. That'd be my thinking. Because it would have been all right in this area someplace. But they've got an operation going on here now, so big time operation going on. But this wash right here, they've really torn it apart. Like I said, we used to metal detect the top of this hill up there. Found a lot of gold up there. I'll tell you what, this place has sure changed throughout the years. It totally looks different now. Interesting though how history does that. Walking down there, I saw this green old Martin high banker, and I said, I just sold that. And I said, oh, I know who that is there. I don't know where he's at. He's got to be wandering around here someplace. Probably out back wandering around with the little animals, if you know what I mean. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, let me go show you what I'm going to be running this weekend, and then I'm going to come down and get me a couple buckets of this material. It's going to be my new secret spot. I better get it before everybody gets here. My areas. I got this Gold Fox trommel right here, filling up some water, slowly draining water out of that there. That's where I'm going to be running. So I was out in Quartzsite last weekend. I ran across this guy named Bunk. Now, I don't know if you guys know Bunk. He sells these picks and he makes them. Bunk's Picks. These are some awesome picks, so I just had to give him a shout out. He told me not to do it because he says he can't build them fast enough because everybody wants his picks, and I said, okay, I won't promote your pick. Anyway, Bunk's Picks. Okay, go search him on the internet. Again, this is the area I want to get into. I'm going to get my material out right through here where all these gravels are. That's where I'm going to get my samples set up here eventually, and we're going to run it through and just testing, see if we got any gold in there. Oh, so caught up with Brad after all. There he is right there. He says, hey, what are you doing over here? Here, I'll help you. Wait, we got him shoveling some of the material in here. This is our test pan right there. We're going to test this, see if there's any gold in that bank right there. We'll let you know in a minute after we clean this this thing up here. Let's see if we're going to go back or not. This is the Gold Fox trommel. Pretty slick unit. He does have gold hog matting in there. So you got a sluice here, you got the sluice here. What happens, even when it comes down, then it opens itself up. So that just helps kind of everything settle out. Up above there, he's got a nugget trap. And he's got some moss up there and some finer punch plate where it's going to fall out, the finer stuff. And the trommel's classifying it down. It's a slick little unit. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. But we're going to run this. We got 2 buckets here. We'll run it and then do a cleanup. We'll see if we got any gold. Ideally, he'd probably put a little soap in there, but don't have no soap. Oh well, no biggie. Well, so we cleaned this up. There was just one nice little piece in there and a few flicks, so wasn't what I thought it was. So that wasn't as promising as I thought it was. So I think what I'm going to have to do is test a different area. That's why it's called prospecting. You know, you're just testing, sampling until you get on the gold. That's when you're going to start to mine it. What I think I'm going to do now, though, is I think I'm going to break out the metal detector and walk up the hill right there. Nuggets up there along that hill. So I think that's what I'm going to do now. And then just kind of hang out and get ready for the evening. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got to yak about this week. So till next time, you guys all take care. Have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, as they say. See y'all. Bye.
Load up a truck. It's time to roll with hearts so wild and a common goal. Chasing the goal, we're ready for the thrill. Through mountains and rivers, we'll climb every hill. With the sun on our backs, we take our stand, uncovering treasures buried in this land. uncovering keys. With a gold pan in hand, we sift through the dirt. Each little glimmer makes our hearts surge. By the firelight's glow, while laughter rings, as we dream of the riches tomorrow brings. This gold fever's got us running wild. In the heart of the land, we feel like a child. Adventures await in the great unknown. Together we chase dreams, never alone. While the firelight's glow, our laughter rings, as we dream of the riches tomorrow brings. This gold fever's got us running wild. In the heart of the land, we feel like a child. Adventures await in the great unknown. Together we chase dreams, never alone. So here's to the nights beneath the stars. With our hearts full of dreams, we'll go far. This gold fever's got us running wild. In the heart of the land, we feel like a child. Adventures await in the great unknown. Together we chase dreams, never alone. Never alone. So here's to the nights beneath the stars. With our hearts full of dreams, we'll go far.